Hey everyone, welcome to AMC Movie Talk for movie fans. I'm your host, Ashley Mova, and this is the daily show where we give you all of the latest news from the world of movies, plus some insight into what it all means. Leading off the show today is AMC Movie News editor, Amy Rose Eisenbach.
What up, guys? Welcome back to the Campia-less AMC Movie Talk week. We're so happy to be back here. And why do X-Men materials always drop on the day I'm not on the show? I just want to tell you how much I love that trailer. I'm freaking out about the film. Everything they've done so far makes me just believe this is going to be the redemption for Bryan Singer. So let's get back to my wonderful table of panelists.
Also here, one half of Schmoes Know, Christian Harloff.
I am ready to talk about X-Men. Oh, no, I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
And the other half of Schmoes Know, Mark Ellis.
Happy Taco Tuesday, everybody. Comment now, get a free taco while supplies last.
Yeah, I'm in. Also here, Fandango correspondent Tiffany Smith.
Hey guys, so I am so excited to be here, and yes, also X-Men trailer, amazing. I feel like everyone's saying it's a redemption, and I'm like, but First Class was so amazing. It's
First
just a
Class
continuation of awesomeness.
But X3 was an embarrassment when Ragnar took over. But
true.
First Class was the best.
It's true.
On to the news.
Green Lantern scribe Michael Green has been hired to rewrite Ridley Scott's Prometheus 2 script. Few details have emerged on the film yet, but it is said to have a more terrifying tone, will feature multiple versions of the android David, played by Michael Fassbender, and that it will be more akin to Alien than the first Prometheus. A release date of March 4, 2016 has been set for a mystery Ridley Scott project, which is said to be the sequel. Amy Rose, what do you make of this news?
All right, there's a lot in here. First off, Green Lantern. He penned that script. That doesn't instill much confidence in me because it wasn't Ryan Reynolds' fault. I actually thought he was decent. It was the script. It was just a disaster. So that's the first red flag I see. Number two, more Michael Fassbender, sign me up. I mean, if there's 10 of them, not too many. I love the man. He can do no wrong in my eyes. So that's great. And I'm in the camp that was really disappointed with Prometheus. It was one of my most highly anticipated films for so long. I love sci-fi. I love Ridley Scott. And it fell flat to me. I don't think you should have to do research to understand a film. And there was a lot left to be determined. So I was disappointed, but everything they're saying, more terrifying, more like Alien, those are good steps. And I mean, we talk on the show so many times how a lot of scripts are fleshed out that never really see the light of day. So this doesn't mean it's going to happen in a mysterious Ridley Scott project. I mean, I don't know what else this could be after his biblical epic that's coming out soon. So I would think it's going to be Prometheus 2, but that has not been confirmed yet. So that's just people speculating. But yeah, I don't know about Mike Green. I'll give him the benefit of the doubt, I guess, so on that one. But yeah, everything they're talking about sounds a little more interesting than the first one to me, at least. What do you think, Tiffany?
I'm excited that they're saying it's going to be more like Alien. I think that when we saw Prometheus, they told us it was prequel. It wasn't supposed to be exactly the same. I don't want Alien. I want something that has nods to it that's leading us to get there. You know what I mean? And I do feel like exactly the same as you. More Fassbender is never a bad thing.
Okay, easy, lady. Talk about the movie here.
You know, and to be fair, they didn't say that it was a prequel. There was speculation that there was a prequel. But everyone thought it was. So hopefully we get that tone. But I agree with you. You open with Michael Fassbender will return, not the Green Lantern scribe. But doesn't that guy have any other credits? Also put that in there. Don't put Green Lantern. But I also do think that the director had a lot to do with those problems as well. However, I want to see more of the Alien tone.
Yes.
That's what I was going for, agreeing with Tiffany there. So sign me up for that. And yes, Fassbender, regardless, he's got that thing that Brad Pitt had. Is like, okay, girls like him, but dudes like him too. So it's okay that you guys are talking about.
I might even find him a little attractive, Christian. I'm just saying that what I really wanted with Prometheus, and I like Prometheus, I just wanted a little bit more. It was building up to this really cool horror feel in the second half. We just never really got that. So that's what I'm interested in. Are we sure that this mysterious Ridley Scott project in 2016 is not Blade Runner 2 or something with Blade Runner?
It could
be.
Sure? And actually, Michael Green is helping to pen that, so it makes sense that they're
This Green Lantern guy's getting a lot of work.
He is.
What did he do?
I wonder why. Like, what's the connection? Why do they think he's such a great fit for it? Because I think that he definitely had something to do with Green Lantern. Wah wah.
Yeah.
But I also think it had to do with the casting, because I don't think that.
And it could also
Gossip
be
Girl is the greatest casting for Green Lantern.
It could also be
Her name is Blake Lively. Okay.
Right.
I just call her Gossip Girl.
It could also be the fact
XO.
that you're going into people who maybe he really loves the material, knows the material well, had a great take on it. Because look at Captain America 2, Winter Soldier.
I'm the only one that hasn't seen it, okay?
Directors of sitcoms. Yeah. And they obviously knew the material well because they knocked it out of the park.
Seriously.
So who's to say this guy can't write? Maybe Green Lantern wasn't his thing. Yeah. Maybe the alien world is.
We shall see.
Fingers
All right,
crossed.
Ashley, what's next?
Some new images from on the set of Avengers Age of Ultron have been released. It gives us a better look at Quicksilver, Aaron Taylor-Johnson, the Scarlet Witch, Elizabeth Olsen, and Hawkeye, Jeremy Renner. It was reported that dozens of motion capture-clad stuntmen were on set, and one was dressed up as a robot, presumably Ultron himself. Mark, what is your impression of these photos?
First of all, let me say that being the only kid on this panel that hasn't seen Captain America 2, I feel like the only one in school without a trapper keeper. So if you guys could be nicer to me, that'd be fantastic.
But that's why you get to comment on this before everyone else.
It's pictures from a set. I mean, I can't get too excited about it. It's nice that they're actually making the movie. It looks like, I was looking at more of the ground than the actual characters because it looks like something's really getting destroyed here. Like a city is going to get wrecked even more than New York did in the first Avengers. And I take away that Aaron Taylor-Johnson has finally lived up to the promise that he showed in the first two Kick-Ass movies, because that dude is ripped now. He renewed that gym membership.
Yeah, I mean, I'm really excited about this. All the actors are just continuously saying, Joss Whedon's just a genius. And I mean, we feel the same way, but it's just, I really love the first film, and they really had the potential to destroy that. They really did. I mean, having all this ensemble on the screen, giving them enough screen time and witty dialogue and being true to the comics enough to make fans happy. I mean, there was a lot that could have gone wrong, and I thought he nailed it. And this just looks great. And I mean, Elizabeth Olsen as a Scarlet Witch, I'm so excited. She's the Olsen with talent. She is just so incredible. Everything she's done, she's just been so smart with her career, picking all these indie flicks and then, jumping in as Scarlet Witch. I love everything I've seen from her. And I mean, the expressions on Quicksilver's face, a little funny. He kind of looks like a 90s boy band leader.
But that's not fair. I mean, you could have Iron Man tying his shoe in a 7-Eleven.
That is cool.
And people are gonna be like, oh, I can't wait. So yeah, of course, anything you show for the Avengers 2, sign me up. The one thing as far as it could be Ultron, that's it looks like something Daft Punk could be doing in their next video, which is cool. But I mean, you don't know what it's going to look like yet. I wish they wouldn't have shown. I don't want to see anything of Ultron at all. And this is a perfect example for me. Again, I watched one Captain America Winter Soldier trailer, then I was done because they show and the Spider-Man too. There's so much trailers now. I will watch one trailer of the Avengers and then I'm done. That's it. And I don't want to see any more pictures. And I want to see it. You signed me up. It's one of the most profitable movies of all time. You don't need to show me every little thing. It's cool, but I don't need to see it.
I think it's really interesting that they're taking such obvious nods to the comic book costume for Quicksilver. He looks, I mean, let's be honest, he looks a little ridiculous, okay?
I don't know. No, because
but Scarlet Witch, they're definitely taking nods from the character.
She looks
but
awesome.
in my mind, I'm like, Quicksilver's power is that he moves really quickly and, he can vibrate his muscles and cause damage by touching something. So it's maybe his suit needs to be a little bit more like Under Armour. That's kind of what I'm going with.
Wolverine dresses like a 70s trucker. None of these guys really, if you take it out of context, they all look ridiculous.
Scarlet Witch doesn't look ridiculous.
She looks awesome. I would wear that outfit.
I would too.
I don't think he looks ridiculous. Again, because I don't want to, I can't spoil stuff, so I don't want to say anything about.
You not?
I think he's going to look cool. I think that this is the Quicksilver that we're going to like a lot more than the other Quicksilver.
I agree, and his hair should be silver, and I'm glad they're doing that because I was a little disappointed in all those magazine covers for X-Men, even though I'm X-Men addict, but still, so we're all excited, but cautiously approaching the
heated.
All right,
Just over wardrobe.
Yeah.
I know, right? We have now reached the buy or sell portion of our show. Miss Ashley is going to read off a couple other items going on in the world of movie news, and my wonderful panelists and I are simply going to say if we buy or sell it. What's up for today?
The first photo has been released of Megan Fox as April O'Neil and Will Arnett as Vernon Fenwick from the upcoming Michael Bay-produced Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Christian, buy or sell this photo?
Sell it at the 99-cent store. I hope we get a good deal. I can't. Again, I loved the 1990 version. I loved it. I hope it was so hard to capture what they did in that version. I don't know. It's Michael Bay is producing it. It's so much, and Megan Fox is April O'Neil. This picture, who knows what they're doing? I think Will Arnett is, you know, oh, do you think people are gonna recognize me as Batman from the Lego Movie? It's like I don't know what's going on here, and I don't care.
It is like the worst selfie ever.
It's awful.
It's so bad.
I don't care. I mean, the movie itself. I really hope it's good. I am gonna go and I'll be the first person to say I was wrong. That movie was awesome. I'm so glad what they did. It looks like a turd on wheels.
Do you sell it too then, Tiffany?
I sell it because it really does. It looks like a terrible selfie. Yeah. I don't understand how this is the picture that got released. I mean, when you're looking at, you know, the pictures that we got of Scarlet Witch and Quicksilver, obviously those were just taken during some scenes. Yeah. This is like they got out a camera and took a photo. We're ready to use it. Right. It sounds to me like we're kind of getting Transformers, like an organic version of Transformers, because they're saying that the turtles are like giant robotic machines, and I'm like, but what?
I think they're at one point they were aliens. Now they're mutants again. It's
they're backpedaling that a little bit. I saw that too. And look, they have the exact same expression. Yeah. Like, it's just weird. I'm not on board as well.
Give your expression. Give your expression when you first got cast in this film. There you go. Yeah, that's right.
I mean, Megan Fox, she's gorgeous. She's absolutely gorgeous, but she's never been known for her acting chops. So when I first heard her cast as April, I was like, really, Michael Bay, what you trying to do there? But I'm not shocked at the same time. But yeah, I mean, when they showed the pictures of the turtles, though, and Splinter, I mean, it looks pretty cool. So that, I've been, you know, a little, I don't know, negative about this one.
Yeah. But you guys are all being a little negative about this one. I am going to buy this image. If you just look at it from the image, okay, what do we get to see there? We get to see Megan Fox as April O'Neil with the classic yellow jacket that April O'Neil is known for. And she's got that look like she's a little scared of what she's looking at, but she's also an intrepid reporter, and this is her job. Will Arnett, I would probably sell that part of it. Just from this picture, I am excited about the Ninja Turtles movie, and apparently the trailer that debuted at CinemaCon this past weekend was pretty cool. And the backstory of the Ninja Turtles was that somehow Shredder and April O'Neil's dad was involved in creating them, so they're not aliens. Probably. I'm buying the damn picture.
Didn't you almost throw up when you said that? When you said that just now, the fact of Shredder, didn't you almost throw up just a little bit?
Puked a little in my mouth. I swallowed it. I'm a professional.
Shredder looked so menacing and awesome. I loved that picture because I wasn't sure, but wow, you're so positive today. Who is this imposter?
Ninja Turtles.
It's also like, again, that's not a picture of the Ninja Turtles. I mean, we didn't cast Megan Fox because we hope that she's the Oscar bait for the Ninja Turtles movie. She's the reporter. I want to see the turtles.
Would you be excited if Vanilla Ice showed back up?
Yes.
I would be too.
That'd be Ninja.
Oh dear. What's next, Ashley?
The casting news for Edgar Wright's Ant-Man continues, and now House of Cards and Nonstop star Corey Stoll is reportedly up for a role. True to the Marvel way, we don't know yet who Stoll will be playing if locked. The film is set to be gearing up for production soon in Atlanta, aiming to hit a July 17, 2015 release date. Tiffany, buy or sell Stoll joining Ant-Man?
I am going to buy this. Within the comic book world, there's a couple different versions of Ant-Man, and so what I'm hoping, we've already got 2 of them in the film. What I'm hoping is that we get Eric O'Grady in this one, which is kind of the bad version. It's the irredeemable Ant-Man, that I feel like he could play this character really well. We don't necessarily know who he's being cast as in the film, which I think is kind of smart because we can all have this time to toss around ideas, think who we think the character might be.
And be dead wrong.
Yeah, probably, but still have fun talking about it. And I think he's coming off of House of Cards. Everyone loves that show, so we know he's a strong actor. And it just gets me excited for the movie.
Yeah, I'm gonna buy it as well. I mean, all the casting up to this point has been so unconventional, and we talked about this last time you guys were on. That's why I like it. Yeah. I mean, who saw Paul Rudd being cast as, you know, and Michael Douglas, and, you know, Evangeline Lilly and Michael Pena are not locked yet, but I think they will be. Everything feels like they will. And I mean, he was amazing on House of Cards. His character was so annoying, and that's great. I mean, you really felt for him still, though, and yeah, I think he would be a really good menacing evil character. Yeah. So I hope it happens as well. What do you think?
Buying it. I like this guy, and I like him in House of Cards. And I actually liked him, and he's one of the good things in Nonstop. I didn't love that movie, but he was good in the film. What I'm going to sell is the fact that we're getting so much Ant-Man casting, also Disney and Marvel, but yet Star Wars we know nothing. Ant-Man I know who's making the food, the craft services, but I don't know who is in Star Wars. Come on, Disney. However, this in general I buy. I like this guy. I think that they're casting right. I think we're going to get a really cool movie in Ant-Man. That's a movie that I'm very excited with, because like, going back with your point before, Mark, with Ninja Turtles, is you don't need no, because you said like, well, they're just throwing in Megan Fox. They don't need her to be April O'Neil. Well, the Marvel and Disney people are doing it right, because it's Ant-Man. That could sound ridiculous. It isn't. You know from everyone that they have, the quality that is in this movie, this is going to be a very, very exciting film, in my opinion. And
I think the reason we're not getting Star Wars is because Marvel has to plan everything for 14 other films that are being done at the exact same time.
But that's fine, but casting, you can still hold back on casting. You know, just tell me Anthony Daniels is in it. Tell me something.
What do you think, Mark?
I would love to buy this. I spent all my life savings on the Ninja Turtle coins. I'll buy it. I think that, I mean, dude looks evil. You know, he's probably playing a villain. Bald guys usually aren't heroes in today's day. It's not
Bruce Willis?
That's true.
Bruce Willis was terrible when he was a bald guy in Die Hard.
I guess you would call him a villain in Die Hard 5.
Yeah.
He made the film.
Well,
I mean,
let's not talk about Die Hard 5.
I'm excited. The guy's a good actor. He's in Ant-Man. That's exciting to me. I don't mind the secrecy. I think it's kind of cool to speculate a little bit. And I'm actually happy that we don't have a lot of Star Wars casting news yet, because I don't want to be doing this stuff with Star Wars. Like, when somebody gets cast as Star Wars, I want to know who they're playing. I don't want to just be like, oh, I wonder who they're playing, and spend another 6 months debating on that. With Ant-Man, I'm fine with that, because I'm not as invested in Ant-Man as I am with some other franchises, like Turtles.
We had no idea. What's next, Ashley?
Some new images have been released from on the set of the Entourage movie. It reunites us with Vinny Chase, played by Adrian Grenier, and his wolf pack, as well as Jeremy Piven as Ari Gold, and a bunch of celebrity cameos, just like the show boasted. Amy Rose, buy or sell these set photos?
I'm gonna buy it. I really loved the show Entourage. I mean, it was time to go off the air when it did. It started, you know, getting a little boring and redundant, but I just love that crew so much. And someone on our team went on a set visit. I know they can't talk about it yet, but it's just everything I saw, like, from this picture is Johnny Drama and Viking. What, are you kidding me? Victory! Like, it's so endearing and charming, and I love that crew, and I love the adventures they go on, and I think a movie is great. And Doug Allen, who is directing and wrote it, did the series, so there's going to be a lot of consistency, and I love the pictures. I'm really excited about it. What do you think, Mark?
I'll sell that picture. I want it on my wall. I mean, it's the dudes from Entourage, and they're together because they're making a movie. That's it.
Yeah.
It doesn't I'm not like, oh, sweet, look, they're all hanging out together.
Right.
Did you look at the other ones?
No, I did not. Are there more pictures of the guys hanging out together on set?
There's like picture, like Bob Saget's in there, and what's his name? The crazy one who was in a lot of the
Gary
seasons.
Busey?
Gary Busey.
Oh, that's fantastic.
He was in the picture, and Johnny Drama in his Viking Quest gear, and like, there's a lot of fun ones. But you know.
As long as they're having fun with the movie, which is what they should do, then that's great. But that particular photo, the one that we chose to show on the show, I'm like, yeah, I don't need that one in my life.
What do you think, Tiffany?
I'm gonna say bye. I mean, I liked the TV show. I'm excited a little bit about the movie. I'm not like waiting with bated breath to see the film. I think the exciting thing is not seeing the guest cameos that we're gonna get in the movie. I hope that they keep a lot more of those quiet, and then you get to the film and you're like, holy crap, that's whoever.
That's a great point, because cameos are the reason why. Like, it's fun being surprised to see like a Bob Saget or like a Gary Busey.
Like the Muppets. That was like the best.
I'm sure. Look, I'm going to buy this because I was a fan of the show. I think that if you're not a fan of the show and you just see this picture, it's just like, Mark, you sell it. I didn't know Gary Busey was in it, and the fact that, I would love to see Turtle eat a pair of shoes backwards in a French wig. That would be fantastic to watch just on that, because I want to see what Gary Busey can do. I want to see a full movie on him. However, you know, it's cool to see them all together. What's the story, though? You know, like, let's end it once and for all. Like, what happens? I don't want to do Sex in the City, though, where we do Successful, and then the next thing you know, you get Kim Cattrall's face falling off because she's too old. I don't need that.
That's gonna happen. If this movie does well, you know that's gonna happen, though.
Well, I know, but no, why? Just give me an end.
I'd love to be on this set a year from now talking about how Kim Cattrall's face fell off, so they couldn't do Sex in the City.
Where did it go?
Stop, guys.
All right, guys, before we go into mailbag, as you know, in honor of March Madness, we kind of did our own superhero film bracket going on, and thousands of you submitted their brackets. We really appreciate your participation and support. It's been a lot of fun, and Mr. John Campea actually recorded a video with the round 2 matchups and results so far, so check out the video right now.
Hey there guys, John here, coming to you from Las Vegas, Nevada, where I'm here attending CinemaCon right now. Don't forget to check our AMC YouTube channel a little bit later for my daily updates from CinemaCon, letting you guys know what I've been seeing down here. But for right now, it is time to get to the round 2 results of our AMC March Movie Madness for comic book superhero movies. Round 1 pretty much went according to script, with 1 or 2 key little upsets here and there. You know which ones I'm talking about. But now it's time for us to look at the results for round 2 and the matchups for round 3. And we're going to start in the Nolan bracket. And the first result we're going to look at in the Nolan bracket is, of course, our number 1 seeded movie in the bracket, The Dark Knight. It wins handily over the original Captain America, the first Avenger movie, 16,903 votes to 7,308 votes. The Dark Knight advances, Captain America finishes its run. The next round up in the Nolan bracket. The 5th seed, in a minor upset, I guess you could say, it's a minor one, the original Batman Begins, barely inching out the number 4 seed, the first Thor movie, 12,979 votes to 11,414 votes. Batman Begins advances, Thor bows out. The third matchup in the Nolan bracket. The number 11 seed in the big upset in the bracket, The Dark Knight Rises, frankly, a much inferior film to its competition, the original X-Men movie, but The Dark Knight Rises does inch it out, 12,860 votes to 11,351 votes in the big upset in the bracket today. The Dark Knight Rises advances to the 3rd round. And the final matchup in the Nolan bracket, in another upset actually, maybe not quite as big as the last one, but the number 7 seed, Man of Steel, beats out one of the best comic book films of all time, Spider-Man 2, 13,908 votes to 10,003 votes. Man of Steel takes care of business and moves on to the 3rd round. The Amazing Spider-Man 2, I should say, bows out. All right, now let's jump over to the Whedon bracket and check out the results. And the first matchup in the Whedon bracket, the number 1 seed, The Avengers, much like the other number 1 seed, The Dark Knight, takes care of business, beating out the number 9 seed, the first Sam Raimi Spider-Man film, handily, 18,811 votes to 5,400 votes. The next matchup in the Whedon bracket sees the number 12 seed, Thor: The Dark World, beat out the number 13 seed, Batman Returns, 14,753 votes to 9,458 votes. It becomes the only 12th seed or lower film to advance into the 3rd round. Batman Returns bows out. The next matchup in the Whedon bracket sees the number 3 seeded movie, Iron Man, handily beating the original Tim Burton Batman film, 18,304 votes to 5,907 votes. Unsurprisingly, the original Iron Man film moves on. And in the final round 2 result, we find the number 2 seed, X-Men 2, beat out its fellow X-Men film, X-Men First Class, 12,628 votes, very close race, to 11,583 votes. So there you have it, a couple of what I would consider big major upsets actually. We see a number 11 seed move on to the 3rd round. We see a number 12 seed in Thor: The Dark World move on to the 3rd round. So let's check out our 3rd round bracket now. We're going to start in the Nolan bracket. And in the Nolan bracket, we see now in the 3rd round matchup is going to be The Dark Knight versus Batman Begins, a number 1 and a number 5 seed going at it. And then in the bottom part of the graphic, we have The Dark Knight Rises taking on Man of Steel. I gotta tell you, my bracket's been busted, because my bracket did not look like this. But anyway, so there you have it again. The round 3 matchups in the Nolan bracket, The Dark Knight versus Batman Begins, and The Dark Knight Rises versus Man of Steel. So now let's jump on over and take a look at the Whedon bracket. And of course, the matchup is going to be the number 1 seed, Avengers, taking on the number 12 seed, Thor: The Dark World. And in the second round, in the bottom half of the bracket, we've got Iron Man versus X-Men 2. To me, the most interesting, there are two very interesting matchups in this round. First of all, it's going to be Iron Man 2 versus, or I should say Iron Man versus X-Men 2. That's going to be a tight one. These are two really good Marvel-based films. They're both beloved, and it's going to be really interesting to see how the voting kind of works out this way, whichever team wins. But then also in the Nolan bracket, we've got The Dark Knight versus Batman Begins. Now, I think The Dark Knight is, while I love Batman Begins, and I think most of us do, most of us would agree that The Dark Knight is a much better film, was a big improvement over the original. How often do you get to say that in Hollywood? But that one should win pretty easily. But I think that Iron Man and X-Men 2 race is going to be a pretty fun race to watch. So there you have it, folks. Make sure you look down in the description of this video where you will find the link to go and vote on the round 3 matchups as we get closer and closer to declaring a champion. All right, back to you guys in the studio.
Thank you, Sir Campia. We want to know from you, any big surprises here? Did your winning film make it? No real shocker, Avengers and The Dark Knight. I mean, that's kind of how we all,
where was the Dolph Lundgren Punisher movie from 1989? Was that a 16 seed?
Yeah, I think that one of the race between, it was Thor.
Batman Begins?
No, it was Thor.
Dark Knight Rises. It was Thor 2 and
No,
Dark
it was Thor and
Knight
Batman
Rises.
Begins. Thor and Batman Begins. That's what it was. It was Thor and Batman Begins, and the fact that, Batman Begins won, but I'm shocked it didn't destroy the first.
And
Thor.
I love Batman Begins, but that's going to get slaughtered by The Dark Knight. I'm
Yeah.
rooting for Batman Begins. I'll be sitting in that team section, but The Dark Knight.
You got to assume Dark Knight is going to win the whole
And
thing.
I loved Thor, but Batman Begins was so amazing. So amazing. So, yeah, let us know in the comments. We want to hear from you. All right, guys, now we are on to Mailbag, taking your user-submitted questions. Miss Ashley has a couple picked out. What's on the floor for today?
Lincoln Johnson writes, love the show. I wanted to ask you about movies that leave the ending up to the audience to decide. An example of this would be the top spinning in Inception. I find that this can be an interesting twist to a movie, but other times at the end, I find myself holding my hands up saying, that's it, like I did with Prisoners. Do you like this approach to movie endings, or do you prefer a clear-cut ending to the story? Do you see this being a trend in movies in general?
First of all, you have a fabulous name, Lincoln Johnson.
Yeah, it's like a president.
I mean, they're trying to evoke that response in you. Like, what? Like, that's exactly what they're trying to do. And Prisoners was a very ambiguous ending, but I like that. Inception, I mean, half the people will say that it was, half the people will say that it wasn't. I'm okay with that ending. Sometimes it feels like a cop-out and it's like a lazy way of not tying it up, but with someone like Nolan, he's not being lazy. He's trying to get you to think about it. So I really think it's a case-by-case basis. Sometimes it does piss me off, and other times I'm like, ooh, and then I just keep thinking about it and obsessing about it. So what do you think?
I think as far as a trend goes, you're definitely in a trend from the director of Prisoners, because he does it also with Enemy. So you get two of those. He likes doing that. Maybe he should switch it up and give us, maybe a definitive ending. But again, I think you're absolutely right. I think that if it fits it and it works for what this overall story is doing, as far as Inception goes, I'm a huge Inception fan. I've watched the movie thousands of times. There is a clear-cut ending in Inception. If you pay attention to Cobb and what's going on with him, there is a clear-cut ending. So you just have to know that, and then as far as Nolan goes,
slow-mo the top.
You just need to rewatch
there's something that here. I'm just going to go like this. There's something that is explained in the movie that if you are
very subtle.
If you're watching it, then you should know.
So how many of you are going to go back and watch Inception now? Just saying. So what do you think?
I feel like for certain films it works. For Inception, I love that that's how that movie ends. One that I'm not sure everyone feels like it was like not a clear-cut ending, but Life of Pi. I was so pissed off at the end of that movie because I was like, I just wasted so much time. Just tell me if it was real or not. Like, there's certain films where it definitely works and ones where it doesn't. I don't think it should be a trend because I think it lends itself well to certain storylines and plot lines, and other ones it doesn't work for.
Do you think it was real, Tiffany?
In my like 5-year-old imagination, I would like it to be.
Good. Hold on to that forever. Never lose that.
What, you mean that Tiger wasn't really on the boat with him?
That broke my heart when he didn't look back.
I think it's totally a cop-out unless the quality of the film leading up to that moment is good enough. And unfortunately, if you're writing a film, you just don't know how many hands are going to get on it before the finished product. Like we were talking about the dude who wrote the Green Lantern. Maybe he wrote a great script, and it just didn't end up being that good. So if you write a great script and you have this loose-ended ending, and then somebody somebody takes it and completely ruins it, then that's all of a sudden on you. So with somebody like Nolan, you definitely give him the benefit of the doubt. And sometimes, like, we all love talking movies, and sometimes it is fun to go see a movie with your friends and then debate what actually happened at the end of it, you know?
Yeah, I mean, and look, Enemy, by the way, I loved Enemy.
Me too.
And the fact that I still don't know what the hell happened at the end, but when I watch it, I'm like, oh, you get to piece together. Some movies that make you think that way with an open end, it's cool, but it should definitely not happen all the time because people will lose their minds.
Yeah, for sure. So, guys, I just want to let you know that we are going to take a couple live submitted questions, so be nice to Miss Ashley, the gatekeeper, today. We're not going to have a lot of time, so we'll take as many as we can, but just be ready for that. So what's the last mailbag question, Miss Ashley?
Abu Liwali writes, how come reviewers never talk about how boring the action scenes were in the original Star Wars and how off-putting the effects are? As a 90s kid, watching the original trilogy is really difficult because of this. I prefer the prequels for these reasons. I'll admit the dialogue and characters were far more interesting in the original trilogy, but that's as far as I'll go. Just my opinion, your thoughts.
All right, first off, how dare you? How dare you? How dare you? Yes, film is subjective. We get that. But what Star Wars did for the cinematic world raised the bar. It showed us what was possible. They were so ahead of their time. I mean, for you to not understand that, fine, that's okay. Like, we get that people that are born a little later, you know, have this love for the prequels, which I don't even consider part of the trilogy. But it's just for what it did for film and characters and just the rich worlds they created before our eyes. I mean, that literally, it's mimicked throughout history now, throughout film history. So I have a couple Star Wars addicts like myself to the right of me. I think they probably have their own 2 cents. Tiffany, why don't you start?
As soon as I read this, I was like, no, you can't be telling
Vader.
the truth. Literally, Christian and I were all just sitting here with our fists up. I think that, you know, when you look back at films that came out in a different time, there was a different special effects aura. There's a different vibe to it. And if you watch those films and you're expecting the effects that we see now, obviously you're going to be a little bit disappointed. But I don't think that you can watch those films thinking that way. And it's inspired so much stuff.
So much.
There's so many incredible fights that have totally been inspired from that. I mean, my friend was telling me the other day that there's a place you can go, I think it's in Spain, where you can learn to actually fight with a lightsaber, because fighting with a lightsaber is different than actually fighting with a sword. That there's much more like that there's much more like panache to it.
Yeah. Look at that! Yeah. Come on! Oh. I am pissed.
Let me say to the viewer. Listen. I understand awesome. for a younger version. Generation.
A younger version of a human.
A younger generation that, comparing to like the Avengers special effects and stuff you're seeing today, it's dated. However, if the Star Wars magic doesn't get you from the opening shot of the Star Destroyer zooming in, then just turn it off. Because you're not, because if you start nitpicking Star Wars from this, when Luke is swinging with Leia on it, and you're not wrapped up in the princess fairy tale and the space opera, then it just doesn't. It's not for you, and you're going to start nitpicking it. You can't do that with a great movie like Episode 4, and you think Episode 5 is dated? Come on.
If the floating Texan overture doesn't get you with the magic, I don't understand. So.
I have a couple of problems with this email as well.
We still love you though.
We love you. It's
but
your
you
opinion.
mentioned that the effects are off-putting. The effects are off-putting is bad breath is off-putting. G.O. is off-putting. If you don't like the effects because they don't look realistic enough for you, then I apologize. What I actually do like about the Star Wars effects and the fact they still hold up today is that it's not like all this crazy CGI stuff that you see today where it's actually hard to keep track of what's going on in the action scene. I kind of like the fact that the Millennium Falcon is trying to get away from 2 TIE fighters, and you can see what's happening in outer space. And then the fact that you spot us that the original trilogy has better characters and dialogue.
No.
I'll spot you that. That's what a movie is.
Jar Jar?
That's the movie.
Henceforth, you will be known as Darth Ellis.
I get a little heated. Thank you. But you know what? Look, I was a kid once too, and I went through that phase where I didn't like a movie unless the special effects looked realistic enough. So like, I didn't like Alien 3 at all because it looked so fake. Right. Then you get up and you realize, oh, Alien 3 was also a bad movie, you know? But now in my head I can separate the fact from, oh, that didn't look as realistic as I would have wanted it to, but I can still get involved in the story and the dialogue.
Well, that's what I'm saying though, because like with you with Alien 3 is that you're watching and I'm just not into this movie, so you start picking it apart. Look, this guy, he has every right to, if that's not his thing and he doesn't like it and it didn't work for him, maybe it's because everyone else loves it. Why aren't I loving it? Like that happened to me a ton of movies, but To me, Star Wars
Star Wars
is everything.
holds up.
Star Wars
Yeah.
to me is everything I want in movies, and the reason I love movies so much because of what the original trilogy did.
It was my first love affair with film. Like
Yeah.
literally, that's why I wanted to be in this industry. So, anyway, a lot of passionate people around me.
Still, thanks for writing the letter, though, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. So we're gonna rapid fire a couple live questions. What did you pick out, Ash?
Eric Mariano writes, what is your favorite movie catchphrase that you tend to use often?
Man, these are so.
I use something so random. It's from Braveheart, and it's the beginning with Edward Longshanks when he's on, and he says, "The English will see us coming." And oh my God, I literally just did this on AMC. I blanked on my line from Longshanks. It's when they're on the battlefield.
Line.
I know, line. That's the line. Oh my God, it's long.
The tagline that you always say.
I always say it, and I
What
said
is
it on
it?
Miss
Must have
Movies.
really stuck with you, huh?
Can you imagine if William Wallace blanked on the speech? He
He's like, hold on,
his head
hold
would
on.
be out.
Did I write it on my hand?
my
They can
God.
take our lives, but they'll never take our.
That is
what's
it.
the thing where you're
Oh my
allowed to
God,
go?
I'm in the middle of saying
Ice
it.
paint.
Wow, that is the biggest brain fart in the history of
man.
Well,
Do
then
you have one?
I'll give
Yeah.
you some time to think about
Yeah.
this because I use one that's my senior quote was actually "Do or do not, there is no try" from Yoda. So I like
Yeah.
using that in pressure moments. But the one that's maybe lesser known is just always stuck with me from Young Guns 2 when Emilio Estevez as Billy the Kid points the gun at the dude and he's like, "Yoo-hoo, I'll make you famous." I just
good.
love the cockiness. And yeah, Billy the Kid was not a good dude, but I love the cockiness and his ability to perform when he has to. And I've always kind of taken that with me.
I think of Casablanca. Here's looking at you, kid. I mean, it's just such a warm. I mean, again, and that's what that did for film history.
Yeah.
That's a good one. So
I'm just
do you
gonna go
bring
with
it on the top of your
usual.
head?
Sorry, I'm just gonna go with Usual Suspects. Can't remember it. I can't remember it. I literally.
You
my-
can
my
take
brain-
another
I quote
second.
this
The
thing every day, and I
The
can't.
devil
no.
ever did was convincing the world to
No,
do
no,
narcissist.
not that one. It's from Benicio del Toro. Flip it. Flip it for real.
Oh,
I use that
so
for like
good.
when people just get too stressed out about things. Flip it.
Why'd you gotta do that? Trying to make a point. I
Yeah.
could quote that movie
Flip
to
it.
the
Christian
end.
used that line the last time I got dumped by a girl. He's like, "No, dude, don't call her. Flip it, flip it." And I'm like, "What are you talking
I
about?"
did. That's a true story.
We almost went the whole show without talking about your relationships.
Glad we got that in there. Can I still
Amazing.
get my phone number?
All right, Ash, one. Oh, wait, if you have one, please.
There's two that I usually do Sandlot, the forever.
Yeah.
And then keep it secret, keep it safe.
Killing me, Smalls. Killing me.
Always,
Come on,
always
Smalls. I do
love
that
it.
one too much, too. All right, Ash, one more.
Okay, Michael Precourt writes, my question is, what book would you like to see made into a movie that hasn't been a movie yet?
That's a really good question.
Ooh, I got one.
Yeah, go ahead.
Animal Farm. That'd
I was
be
actually
awesome.
just talking with someone about that
That
the
would
other
be
day.
awesome because now, like, our young friend from the 90s, you know, kind of led us to believe that now we have the effects to pull off talking
Yeah.
animals on a farm and the way that it represented the formation of Soviet Russia. I think that'd be really, really cool to see. Plus, I mean, who didn't love Babe? You know, he's talking pig.
That'll do,
Remember?
pig. That'll do. I use that a lot, too.
Yeah. I think that I'd probably go again. You're gonna go real literature. I'm gonna Star Wars. I'm going Star Wars literature as well.
Oh
Expanding
God,
universe.
I know what it's gonna be.
You're wrong. Go ahead and say what you think it's gonna be.
No, I would just go ahead.
I'm gonna go with Darth Bane. Drew Karpyshyan wrote a series of novels, the Darth Bane trilogy, which is it's about based in the Old Republic, and now that there's all these spin-offs, and if you've watched Clone Wars, it's a lot more possible that this could happen. And with recent rumors that there's going to be an Old Republic movie of how the Sith origin all began, that to me would be exciting.
I can't believe you just did that to me. I had a cute little movie about a talking chicken, and then I can't follow Darth Bane. Yeah, I want to see the Darth Bane
It was
movie now.
endearing. It was endearing. Do you
It's
have one off
true.
the top of your head?
Darth Bane kills a pig, if that helps.
So there's two of them. I really want Ready Player One. I want that to be a movie. I want it to happen. And then I would go with like graphic novel, comic book. I want to see Why the Last Man.
Yes.
I want
Yes.
Why the Last
But no
Man
Shia
movie,
LaBeouf. That
please.
was rumored.
No, I think Zach Levi would make.
I have been
a great
waiting
lead.
for that to happen. I don't understand. V for Vendetta was amazing.
Yeah.
Sin City, like, do more graphic novels. Like, come on. Yeah, that's
You'd make
good.
me really happy.
We've covered so much today. There's been so much magic in this room, and I really appreciate you all joining me for today. Thanks for tuning in, my friends. I would like to thank my wonderful panel of, I'll call them judges for all intents and purposes. Mr. Mark Ellis on my left. Where can people find you?
You can check out our podcast. It is back live, the Schmoes No Movies podcast on April 3rd, 7 to 9 p.m. PST. You can watch it streaming live, the video and the audio on schmoesno.com. Animal Farm is the only book I've ever read.
I would like to thank the lovely Tiffany Smith. Where can people find you?
Thanks. So you can find me on Fandango. I do junkets and interviews for that, and then as well as DC All Access and you can see Christian and I together talking Star Wars on Far, Far Away on Geek Nation.
Wait, you guys like Star Wars?
We do.
Weird.
Let's talk Star Wars.
I'd also like to thank Mr. Christian Harloff. Where can people find you?
Do it, and let the English see you do it.
There you go.
Oh, man. All right, you can find me, Tiffany, myself, and Mark all co-host our podcast, by the way. We'll be back, like Mark said, on April 3rd. However, if you want to see our Captain America review, you can subscribe to us on YouTube here at Schmozno. And you can also check us out on Twitter and Facebook.
Great. And I would like to thank Miss Ashley Mova, the lovely gatekeeper for today. Where can people find you?
You guys can find me on Twitter at Ashley Mova. Mark, you owe me tacos. Just saying. Just saying.
I'll get right on that. I promise.
And I'm Amy Rose with AMC Movie News. Thanks again for all your support. We really appreciate it. Like us, share us, go see a movie. There's so many good things out right now. And if you want to find me on social media, you'll find me. You will just make it happen. So once again, thank you so much. And I'll be back tomorrow with 2 brand new guests that are also making their AMC Movie Talk debut. So be sure to check in. Thanks again. We'll see you then.
If you like this video, be sure to give it a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe to AMC Movie News on YouTube. It's free and a great way to stay updated with all the latest movie news and check out our daily show, AMC Movie Talk. Also, don't forget to check us out on Facebook and Twitter to stay in the loop for our special prizes, giveaways, and contests.